Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Gatoho TV made in Mukurweini show. And today we have a very exciting conversation with some very beautiful and wonderful guests over here. We'll be getting to know a little bit about them and what they do. Matters femicide and gender-based violence in Mukurweini is an agenda that needs to we need to have some conversations around that. And it's very important that we speak to the community of Mukurweini, Nyeri, and of course even generally in Kenya, because it's an issue that has affected very many communities. I want us to start with a brief introduction of the panel that I have with me. They will tell us who they are and what they do and who they represent in this community. From my immediate neighbor here.
Asante, good evening everyone. I'm Catherine Wangombe, working at Mukurweini Level 4 Hospital, and I'm also a chairperson from Golden Women Voices. Yeah.
Thank you so much. The gentleman, karibu sana.
Thank you so very much for the chance. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Zach Mamita Gishohe. Professionally, I'm a counseling psychologist based at Mukurweini Level 4 Hospital. And in addition to being a counseling psychologist, I'm also a mental health champions promoter. Thank you and karibu.
Karibu sana to the show. Madam, introduce yourself.
I'm Wangari Chege, the founder of Golden Women Voices Against Gender-Based Violence in Mukurweini. I'm also a business lady. Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Golden Women Voices is a community-based organization. Its new name nowadays, the government has changed the CBO to Public Benefits Organizations. We are in Mukurweini. We formed this organization due to the high rising numbers of defilements, domestic violence in Mukurweini. Our logo is a horn. And a horn, a long time ago in Kikuyu land, they used horns to pass on messages to others. When there is a baraza, they would use the horn. And once the horn is blown, the community would know that something is up. Shoro is what we use as our logo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what are some of the activities, the specific activities of the group in the community?
Okay, I would start with the objectives. And among many, one is to try and reduce the rising number of defilements in Mukurweini, and also making sure that once we get a case that is going underground, we blow our horn, toka huhashoro in Kikuyu, so that those who want to cover that case will not be afraid to cover that case. Among the activities, again, among many, is creating awareness in the community. Telling them not to shy away, try and remove stigma of rape and things like those. Yeah.
Thank you very much. When was the organization formed? How many years have you been in existence?
We started in 2023, and at the same time it was registered as a community-based organization. Yeah.
Could maybe you tell us about maybe some challenges that so far that you face as an organization in Mukurweini in your operations?
Making the people or the affected survivors come out and agree to talk about what they are going through is a challenge. And another one is finances, because you want to get deeper into the villages, but due to financial constraints, you are not able to really reach the grassroots. But we try our best. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Viewers, as you've heard, these are people who have been championing for people to speak up and of course bring those cases of femicide and gender-based violence. We'll be getting to the difference between gender-based violence and of course femicide. In the recent past, we've had very many cases of femicide, and before we even go to that, I would like to understand, or the viewers would like to understand, what exactly is femicide?
Let me try to define the word femicide. It is killing of a woman or a girl because of her gender, and it can be done by maybe a partner, ex-partner, or a family member. And I can also define it as intentional killing or with with gender-related motivations.
And what is gender-based violence?
Well, thank you for that. I think maybe it's important for us to clear the air on the definition of those two terms. So, as my colleague, Madam Catherine, has stated, that femicide is the intentional killing of women. Gender-based violence now is a general term that we use to define to the harmful practices that are directed to persons of either gender, be it a male or female. So the gender-based violence, it is harmful practices that are directed towards individual based on their gender. So this one does not specifically touch on one gender, but it encompasses both genders. Yes.
So GBV is not about men, assaulting women.
No. GBV is not only it's not only about one gender, but it entails victims of both genders. We have instances where the men are the victims. We also have instances where women are the victims. So it encompasses both genders. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. So what are the instances or examples of gender-based violence? Maybe I've had cases of people taking people to court because of things like text messages. I send you a text message and then you take me to court. Is it beating somebody physically? Is it emotional? What are some of the examples of GBV?
Well, now in that case, as you've defined it, actually that's correct, because gender-based violence, it cuts across the board. It is any form of violence, and it entails physical violence. This is the causing physical harm to someone, for example, beating up. It can also be emotional violence. Emotional violence or the abuse entails intimidation. You have cases of intimidation and humiliation. We also have sexual violence, which it is the forceful acts of sexual activity without the consent. And we also have financial violence. Financial violence entails monitoring one's spending. You are limiting your spendings. Also controlling your finances. So violence is a lot. It takes a lot. There are various forms of violence. Those are just some of the examples of the gender-based violence. Yes.
So there is physical, there is is sexual,
yes.
Right? So sexual violence,
yes.
Is it just about rape and defilement?
Sexual violence are these harmful acts that are directed towards an individual in a sexual manner. This entails rape. Now, what we commonly know, it can also entail sending the sexual messages, sharing of people's pictures online without their consent. Those are the forms of sexual violence that we're talking about. Yes.
Well, what about yes, madam, you want to come
I still
in?
may add to that. Sexual is even, for example, women. We have our menses every month, and somebody will come and force you to have sex, even when you don't want, because you are on your days. If somebody insists that he or she, he has to have sex with you at that time, that is also sexual violence. And on what he said about text messages, that is now number 5 of the types of violence nowadays. We have technology facilitated violence. It has been added to the other forms of violence, and this is whereby, and now it is becoming very, very common. You meet a guy or a lady online. I am a woman, a married woman, and I meet somebody online like you, a young man, and when you start chatting, at one time this guy will tell you, send me your nudes, send me your breasts, send me your private parts, send me a photo of yourself or a picture of yourself naked. You see? And then after some time, this guy will start blackmailing you with the same photos. Mama, I want 50,000 and I don't have. Cap, he sends you the nude. It is you who said, but he wants money. And then he reminds you, I have your nudes. Okay, and it is good now that the government is prosecuting people when you do that. Second time, I want 100,000 shillings. I don't have. What do I do next? Instead of these photos getting to my husband, these photos getting to my children, I will commit suicide. Alternatively, I'll have you killed. So it's a type of violence that now is number 6 among the 5 forms of violence.
So when we are still at that, when talk of someone, people sending nudes, the person between the person who sends the nudes and the person who receives the nudes, who has committed sexual offense? A violence.
Both of you. You have asked for them. You want them.
Yes.
And I've sent because I love you. So both of us.
You are guilty.
Yes.
All of you, both of
Both of you are actually guilty because, well, if I may say, in Kikuyu, there is a saying that says, "Utire mwishi na mwisho dhaneri."
Yes.
So you see, that simply put is, I am guilty for asking for those pictures. You're also guilty for sending them. So in some way, you gave me power over you. But this does not define, despite the fact that you gave me power, it does not mean that I get to use these pictures or I get against you whatsoever. You sent them, just like she has said, out of trust. And maybe, as we want to define it nowadays, to spice the relationship. So you sent the pictures, maybe long distance relationship. So you sent them my way to try and spice us the relationship. But then maybe along the way, once now the relationship starts getting bumpy, I find this as a leeway to ensure. See, now that's a form now of violence. I'll now be controlling. I'll now be blackmailing. Now that's emotional violence, whereby I'm now using whatever it is that I have to my advantage for whatever purpose that I want against you. So it now becomes that you're now under my mercy, of which should not be the case. That itself is also violence. Yes.
Okay. So when we talk about sexual abuse and violence, there's this discussion about people saying, oh, it's willing buyer, willing seller. You're two adults, you had sex, then one of you decide later on to go to court and tell you that you abused me, you raped me. How are these things done? How do you establish who violated the other? If it's a case of willing buyer, willing seller.
Well, in that case, but you see, I'm a psychologist. Mine is to deal with mental health. In such a case, when such an instance occurs, we have first of all to do the psychological assessment. Psychological assessment means we want to certify how fit is this person. Because in as much as the case is buyer and seller, there is also the issue of trust. And confidentiality is one of the ethics that you're supposed to observe. If by any chance confidentiality is broken, you have grounds to sue this person because they shared out whatever it is that you shared with them in confidence. So it's like alienda kukuanika without your consent.
Okay. And for the interest of our viewers, what is the difference between rape and defilement? Rape, both of them, in both instances, sex is involved, Yes. But what is rape? What is, defined as rape and what is defined as defilement? For the sake of our viewers.
Well, in that case, both of them, as you've said, they are sexual assaults. But for defilement, it is defined as the sexual assault to a minor. A minor is somebody under the age of 19. Rape is the sexual assault now to somebody over the age of 18. Simply put.
Good. Madam, you have some input?
Yeah. And in defilement, there has to be penetration.
Yes.
If I may add on to that, since defilement, as she has said, it entails penetration, that one won't classify under defilement, yet it will fall under sexual assault.
Okay. Let's come to Mukurweini, now that we're in Mukurweini. Cases of rape and defilement. How has the situation been?
We've dealt with so many cases, but some of them are not reported. They are underreported. But I think we have so many cases in Mukurweini. Yeah.
So many sexual assault issues that are coming up from defilement to rape. And these are acts of violence that are being perpetrated by people we know, people we work with and people we live with. And of late, the numbers are rising. And it is worrying. Sasa kuna shida.
Kuna shida, kuna abu.
Kabisa.
And as you've heard, this group, their symbol, is a horn, shoro. Without shoro. So what happens when you get a case of sexual assault or any other form of gender-based violence? Let's talk about sexual assault first before you go to other forms of gender-based violence. What happens when you hear this a place a child has been defiled, a woman or a man? By the way, can a man be raped?
Yes.
Do you have rape cases involving men?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But men,
Pashege.
they go and report it because men,
They can't.
they do not believe in reporting even being
Such
beaten, which is a
cases.
crime. And they should go to the police and report. It is there. It is there.
Oh.
Hiyo sasa aibu, they can't. But hiyo kitu inawa affect sana.
Hey.
Men, they are there, wanarepiwa. Majority of them wenye wanakunywa, wanaanguka, najipata tu wamefanywa hiyo kitu, lakini hawezi sema ama he can't share it with any other person. Anakaa tu nayo. So kuna shida venye tunasema out there, especially here. Yeah.
You know the reason I was asking about that question. Yesterday I was going through a post on Facebook. Someone had posted a man. I don't know if it was a true post, maybe someone who faked an account or something, but he said that he has been raped by his wife over years.
Yes.
He has been being raped over years. And then people in the comment section, mostly men, were actually celebrating and they were asking for the contact of this woman, because there was
Yes.
men were saying that they would want to have such a woman who will be raping them daily. You understand? So is that serious? Do we have men who really find it offensive when a woman forcibly has sex with them?
I did not give you consent, despite the fact that we are married. And surprisingly is that of late, there has been a rise in such cases whereby even married couples are taking each other to court on grounds of rape.
Wow. Let's come to Mukurweini now. When you receive a case, mtu amekuja, amewambia, I've been assaulted, I've been beaten by my husband, by my woman, right? A child has been defiled, and they come to your table. What do you do? What actions do you take from there?
First of all, as you say, it's a golden voice. When we are talking to them, when you are creating awareness, it's a golden voice. But just close our line. Just try and then cover a defilement case. And that golden voice becomes something else. You will not believe. When we hear that there is a case, a child has been defiled somewhere, and it has not been reported, what we do is we get the contacts of the family, or even where that family is, and we go. Because if this case goes unreported, which is very common, there are so many cases, but they go unreported. Money change hands, and you sell your child for just like 10,000 shillings, 20,000 shillings. You don't want to report your brother who has defiled your daughter, because it is family. The first question is, did your brother know this child is family? You find a child has been defiled repeatedly by maybe the grandfather, and I'm married there, so it's my father-in-law. The mother-in-law threatens me not to report her husband, and if I have to report the husband, I have to leave. So the woman shies off and shuts her mouth, and that child is left like that. So we encourage them to report. We tell them it is a crime. Your child somebody having sex with your child at this age is a crime. We tell them the Constitution says a minor is 18 years, below 18 years. And so somebody has violated your child. And it is only you who can stand for your child. Nobody else will fight for your child. So that is where now our golden voice comes in. We talk to them. If they become adamant, then we can report them. But usually when we reach the point that we are going to the police on behalf of the child, they agree to report. So that is what we do. Because if they know it is known, that one will not take them. And if even the chief, even the Nyubakumi, those who might think that they can compromise, will not compromise when we are there. We cannot allow that. Because that is why Mukurweini is on the radar very high with cases of defilement. Because people keep quiet. Families threaten each other. Poor families fear rich families. So if a rich boy has violated my daughter, I'll not talk because Marina Abesha. So it is our duty to tell them the law haina pesa. Na kama law inasema hivi and somebody has broken that law, serikali lazima ifuate sheria. It doesn't matter how many houses you have in Isili, but you have to go to court. And they should remember that. Below, defilement below 11 years, you are facing life. You become a state guest. Yeah.
Well, now in that case, what happens is right at Mukurweini, we have the psychologist's offices. So once this case has been reported, be it a rape case or a defilement case or any form of sexual assault, one, something that we should know is that this is something traumatic. So the very first thing that we're going to do is perform psychological first aid. Psychological first aids is calming techniques in order for this person, in order to calm this person post the trauma, because the trauma of the assault. And then now from there, we will have counseling sessions afterwards to address the post-traumatic stress that comes as a result of this, as well as any other arising issues that might arise after this. Afterwards, we involve, it's a multidisciplinary thing. So we will involve our clinicians for the post-care, for the post-rape care. Yes.
Right? When does the case reach the authorities? Maybe get to police, to the courts. Maybe the parents don't have maybe means or money to even pay a lawyer.
Well, in that case, the steps, if I may highlight them, is right after the act. The first thing that's supposed to be done is reported to the police station, to the nearest relevant authorities. And then now from there, the relevant authorities take the case and they follow it up to the hospital to ensure that this person, the victim, gets the necessary assistance, healthcare assistance that they need. Straight from the post-rape care to the psychological counseling. And then afterwards, remember this matter has been documented at the station. So now, with the help of the lawyers, we have lawyers at the offices at every, there are law offices. So with the help of the lawyer, they take over the matter, because now this is now a matter to be addressed in court. But remember, the police are the ones which are pioneering. They're the ones which are pushing. They're the ones who are pushing, because this is a matter that was reported to the table. So they are the ones who take now these issues to the legal channels, through the legal channels. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Viewers, a very interesting debate. And of course, if you have any comments or any questions, you can send them in through our socials. We have our contact number 0723 204482, 0723 204482. We've been going on with this conversation, and of course, we'll be right back. We want to take a very short commercial break, and then we'll be resuming shortly after to continue with the debate with these amazing and wonderful guests we have today's panel. Thank you very much. See you after the break. Right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, karibuni sana. This is Toho TV made in Mukurweini show. We bring you conversations and dialogues that revolve around the people of Mukurweini and of course we have a very wonderful guest today, and the topic of discussion today is gender-based violence and the cases of femicide in our communities. And before we went on a break, we defined what is gender-based violence, and of course we defined femicide, and we were trying to to discuss or to debate around that area, especially on gender-based violence. And before we went on a break, there's something that we didn't quite finish very well, especially on when a case is reported on gender-based violence, specifically sexual assault to you, to the police. What happens from there? There's somebody who might feel that they don't have money to pay a lawyer to represent them in court, so they watakanyangia tu story tu afikirie probably mwenye assault is a rich person, so if you go to court with them, I'll lose because of lack of legal representation. What happens, Madam Virginia?
Okay, let me say, if you are reporting a case, either defilement, domestic violence, or rape, it must be the truth. Mm-hmm. It must be the truth. Mm-hmm. Because if it is not the truth, you lose that case in court. Mm-hmm. But if it is the truth, you don't need to hire a lawyer for your case if you are the complainant. It is the government against the perpetrator. So the government lawyers, whom we call prosecutors, are the ones who are your lawyer. They will lead the case and they try to prove that so and so really committed a crime against this person. If you hire a lawyer, it will be a waste of money, because those lawyers are called, they watch brief. They will not talk in court because the prosecutor is standing in for you. So if you are sure that this person really hurt you, let them keep lawyers. Let them pay for their lawyers. Your evidence. If you went to the hospital, like Madam has said, you go to the hospital. They look at you, they will examine you. Maybe you have bruises. Maybe if it is a child, the private parts have been destroyed. All that report that the doctor who saw you first writes is good evidence for you. If they are witnesses, they'll come to testify for you. But if they refuse, because commonly we don't want, hatutakagi kukosana na majirani. Siwezi kwenda kotini, nitakosana na majirani. Keep your evidence vizuri. Go to the hospital. Hizo nguo usioshe, huyo mtoto usimuoshe. Kama alikuwa amegwaruzwa huku, akona matope huku mali alilalishwa kakahawa, usimuoshe. Kama alikuwa na mauchafu ya mafulana nini, don't even clean those clothes, because that is what police will look at. Wakichukua nguo waona iko na damu, iko na nini. So that once they get the perpetrator and DNA is done, the DNA from the suspect and the DNA that will be gotten from the child, either in the private parts, if they match, then we have a conviction. Yeah. So they should not fear that sina wakili na wataniwekea wakili. Goja waweke hata mawakili 7. Ile damu itatolewa kwa mtoto ipimwe, ifanane na yako mister. Ikifanana, you are inside that child. So hata wakili akilipo pesa ngapi.
Before we go to statistics of sexual assault in Mukurweini, let's come to the timeline of reporting. Someone has been assaulted by another person of the opposite gender, and then they want to report.
Yes, we have the timeline. They are supposed to visit the nearest facility within 72 hours. Kama huyo mtu alikuwa amekurape, maybe he was infected, unakuja unapimwa HIV status, and then kuna dawa unapewa, you take for 28 days yenye inakuzuia usipate virusi. So you're supposed to report within 72 hours. Usipitishe hapo, juu hiyo dawa itakusaidia. Yeah.
All right. So within 72 hours. And Madam Washake was talking about the evidence. It can be, after 72 hours, it will be hard for the police to gather the evidence. All right. Wakili, Mukurweini, cases of gender-based violence, specifically on sexual assault, the last maybe 6 months, how has the situation been?
The issue, as I had mentioned earlier, the numbers are rising. Tulitoka numbers ikiwa chini. Right now we get at least 2 cases per month. So the numbers are now rising to at an alarming rate. So that's why, as I said earlier and I emphasize again, kuna shida. because in the last 6 months, in the last 12 months, we've handled more than 10 cases of sexual assault, be it defilement, be it rape, any form of sexual assault. We've handled more than 10 cases.
More than 10 cases
Yes.
in the last 1 year. Now, in those 10 cases, have you as a group, Golden Women Voices, have you been able to get a breakthrough with any of the cases? And by breakthrough, I mean justice has been, maybe someone has been jailed, or somebody is in court, have you had any breakthrough the last 6 months, those 10 cases? Is there any justice that has been served?
Well, I wouldn't say that no justice has been served, because in the last of all those cases, what we do after the case has been reported and now the matter is in court, as we know, the wheels of justice do move. Regardless of the speed at which they move. So some of those cases are still under investigation. It is therefore, we don't therefore interfere with cases which are under investigation. But additionally, we do a follow-up on the victim to find out how is the matter being handled. I know that might be conflicting tukisema hatuta interfere na investigation as well as following up on the client. But remember, our purpose was to amplify. Our purpose is to amplify. So we are therefore coming back to kuona the psychological trauma, the emotional turmoil that took place. How is it? How are you handling it? Sisi tumekuja kuona unaendelea vipi. And as for the rest, the justice takes time.
Okay.
But we eventually believe, and we have seen that justice gets served.
Now, when gender-based violence escalates in other levels, gets another dimension, we talk of cases of femicide. The reason we've had this conversation today, less than a week ago, when we lost a very young girl through femicide, a case that has touched the hearts of very many people. Actually, the burial was the day before yesterday, and I saw you very aggressive, yeah. And of course, I know even right now there are things that are going on behind the scenes, and everyone wants to make sure that justice has been served. Of course, may her soul rest in peace. When we talk of femicide in Mukurweini, let's start with statistics. What is the situation of femicide in Mukurweini?
Okay, in the last 1 year, we can say we have over 5 femicide cases. Because we have one in Giadogo, a lady was killed on December, New Year Eve. We have another smaller child, Shiro, who was murdered. We have in Karaba, there's a girl who was murdered. We have the one who was put in a septic, in a tank, in a hole of water in Gekondi ward. We have the current one, and maybe others have not been reported. I think investigations on all these cases are going on, because in some of these maybe they're still looking for suspects, especially like the one in Gekonti. That man has not been arrested, but we know investigations are going on. But again, the community has a role to play, because we are the only ones who can say where that person is. He's my brother, he's my cousin, he's somebody close to me, he's my friend, and we are talking, but I can't say where he is. So as a community in Mukurweini, we also have a role to play in helping the authorities get these people out wherever they are. Because a policeman will be told it is Virginia. Virginia did that. But this policeman from Western Province does not know Virginia. It is your duty to tell the police that it is Virginia and she lives in this particular place and this is her number. And the police will arrest me. But we can't blame them if we don't give them the proper information that they need, because we are the one who know each other.
Wow. So out of those cases, of course, we've had some losing their lives in very very disgusting ways. There's this woman whose head was chopped off, when sleeping. Then you mentioned one that was thrown into a pit, a septic tank, right? And then, of course, the most recent one, the girl who lost her life out of, knife stabs. And that case happened actually very, very early in the evening, very early in the evening. So is there a case in Mukurweini of femicide that has happened and has gotten your attention? You've championed for maybe the justice of, that woman, that lady, that girl, to be served. And so far you can proudly say that the suspect was apprehended, taken to court, and now he's serving life sentence somewhere in Kamete. Or can you proudly say that you have one case that justice has been served? Honestly speaking,
we can't swear. I've not heard. Again, Mukurweini, as you know, we are fearful people. We fear coming out. In fact, these protests that we had that night could be the first ones that really came out. And we were happy that we were not dispersed by the police, because they would have dispersed us. And we were happy that the community that was there was not arrogant. We did the protest peacefully. And it is a start. We shall be amplifying louder, because protests amplify the information. So I can't say that somebody has been taken to court because of those murders that I have mentioned, unless this one of Giadogo, there was a gentleman, a boyfriend or husband, who was arrested. The last time I asked about it, I think it was still on. So probably if he's the one is proved guilty, he will serve the sentence.
Wow. Can femicide, this killing of our women, our mothers, our grandmothers, our sisters, our girls, can it be avoided?
Yes, I can say it can be avoided, as well as the numbers can be reduced. This is because of late we are creating awareness. So we are moving from the unknown now to the known. Also working with the community, through community and cultural exchange, whereby some of these practices, maybe of gender-based violence, femicides, they are happening, they are things that are passed down. For example, maybe gender-based violence, whereby wife battering is considered a norm in some communities. Additionally, early identification and intervention. And by this, I mean, we are the community, right? So we know so and so anachapwa na bwanake, so and so anachapwa na bibi yake. What are we doing? So if we can identify such instances, we are urging the community to collaborate with us, as well as to collaborate with the authorities, in order to curb these cases, so that we can reduce the numbers.
Also educating our boys and girls about gender equality. Tunawaonyesha the way to solve problems, not lazima iwe violent.
Because most of these cases, yes, madam, before you...
Okay, in addition to that, now to the survivors, before it reaches to femicide, and unless in a case like the one that we had last week here, there must have been threats. Your boyfriend must have threatened you. Your husband might have threatened you that nide koraga we. When you lekua. When they wata de koraga. Don't take those threats lightly. Pack and leave. And I'm saying again, if you are threatened, if you feel your partner is threatening you, pack and leave. If he is threatening you, she is threatening you, go to the police and report. In Mukurweini, we have a gender desk. We were instrumental in pushing that gender desk. In that office, you get a female or a male officer. If you are a lady, you want to talk to a lady officer, you go to that office. If you are a man, you want umechapwa na bwana yako, wenda huko useme nataka mwanaume. These guys are trained. And like how we say that askari atakuenjoy, wewe mwanaume unapigwa na bibi. Those in the gender office are professional. They are trained. They will not mock you. Agekorwo ni urero ni muthuri waku ni ari ikuraga. Angĩkorwo nĩ ũrerwo nĩ boyfriend yaku nĩ ĩrĩkũraga, oha mĩrigo ume ũthiĩ tondũ nĩ arĩkũraga. Example, this case in Juja, there is a video circulating showing them fighting in the house. Yes. And the woman is the one who was holding the knife. She would have left at that time, because if holding the knife, probably this man also wanted to kumnyonga ama anything, akachukua kisu kujidefend. But you know how it has come to. If somebody is threatening, you have your family, you have your relatives, and they need you, go. And you, man, this lady is my sister, is my mother, is my grandmother. Just like you are your father's son. Wanakuhitaji na wetu wananihita. Wacha kubebea mtu maisha. Wacha kuniondolea maisha. Just part ways. There is nothing as sweet as the feeling of love. That time you are loving each other. It is so sweet. But there is nothing as painful as the pain of a broken heart.
When someone is faced with a risk, vile umesema, mtu anakuambia atakuua, kwani kukuraga wewe. Someone is faced with a risk of femicide. You feeling threatened, maybe you feeling like, una feel tu, unaanza kuona red flags hapa na pale. So what is one supposed to do?
You're supposed to report to the local chief, like Mukurweini police, kuna GBV desk. You can visit the nearest facility like Mukurweini Hospital, our organization, Golden Women Voices, and there is also a Kenya GBV 1195, toll free. Yeah, you can visit all.
Are there things that you would want to request the security agencies, the government, the political leadership, the community at large? Specific things that you can request the leadership and the government and the security agency to do when it comes to preventing and solving gender-based violence cases as well as femicide?
Okay, we would like the government to take matters gender-based violence seriously. Hii ni janga. Just like when AIDS, HIV ilipokuja ikawa janga, they really set aside a lot of money for awareness ya HIV, and they should do the same for GBV, because we do this work voluntarily. You volunteer your resources, you volunteer everything, but you can just do very little. I can drive my car to Mehote. Around the road I can go, but I cannot go deep inside with my own car, with my own resources. So they should put that one as an agenda and give it priority. Yes.
For them to speed up the court cases and they share the outcome.
To speed up the court processes and share the outcome.
Number 2, yes. We would request the government, even through our area MP, and we mentioned somewhere we were, that we need a dog, a sniffer dog, because these crimes happen at night, mostly at night. And if we had sniffer dogs, we can get these people. For example, the one at the recent one, it was just at 7 p.m. across the road. If we had sniffer dogs, I'm sure that man would have been sniffed out. You see? But tuna dog ya patrol. Sasa ya patrol na banki haitusaidi, and that is why some crimes zinaenda hivyo. They are perpetrated by my neighbor. Lakini kwa vile hakuna sniffer dog na tunatafuta tunakosa, na hata huyu amefanya hivyo, tukitafuta anatafuta. So we shall never get that person. Lakini tukiwa na sniffer dog and police get information very early in the morning or late at night, that dog can help. These are my thoughts, but I think they are valid. And
of course, I know the leadership will be watching this interview and they will be getting those insights. Now, before you started the conversation, you mentioned something about Jasiri program, the program,
yes,
and the organization. Maybe you can tell us more about that.
Jasiri program is a program aimed at helping survivors, assisting survivors start afresh and pick up the pieces that they left. Jasiri program is being run by CRU. CRU is Center for Rights, Education and Awareness. And it is assisting girls and women between 16 years and 17 and 18 to 35 years. Wale wamepitia magumu ya nyumbani, mtu amepigwa, alifukuzwa and has nothing to do, or somebody just left akaweka kasoko hapo ambao haiendi nyuma na haiendi mbele because ndio anakula. So we as golden women, our work is to recruit. We are assisted by crew to be able to go into the interior and get them out, talk to them, get those who are within that age bracket. Wanakuja, we forward their names to crew. Crew will come and give them counseling. They are counseled first of all, and between 16, 17 to 25 wanaweza kupelekwa courses, na si wanapelekwa courses saloon in our local TVETs. They are taken where they are, hawapeleki mbali. Wale over 25 wanapatiwa pesa, wanapewa financial literacy, they are trained on finance, and then they are given a starting capital of 25,000 shillings. Wanatainiwa siku 4 au waskilling siku 2, alafu wanapelekwa TVETs. MTTI tuko na wanafunzi, Giadhogo tuko wanafunzi, and cruise pays everything from registration fee to exam fee, including the items that are required for their training. Then kuna wanapewa financial literacy training and they are given 25,000 shillings either to start off a business or boost what they have. There are others ambao walianza biashara inaendelea vizuri but it doesn't really grow. Those ones are referred to financial institutions where they are given manageable loans wa improve biashara yao. Okay. So ningetaka kuambia, if you are out there, you are a survivor. You must be a survivor of gender-based violence. Have a no B, because if you are a survivor, you must have reported to the police. And because tena the dona anajua wanawake wa Kikuyu kama sisi hatuendi polisi kustaki wazee because wanatupika kwa vile wanatupenda. That is what we say, all our grandmothers used to say. So kama hukuenda polisi, ulienda kwa chief ukamwambia, wewe abia bwanangu asirudi kunipi, na ukarudi nyumbani. So that is what Jasiri is all about. Yes.
Wow. So you can hear that these people, they not just leave the victims, that if you're a survivor of GBV, there is a program, Jasiri. If they come to the hospital, maybe you have some challenges there and you have some specific, requests, maybe facilities, equipment, trainings that you'd want maybe the government, the leadership to help you with.
When it comes to the hospital, one is we need resources. We need resources to be able to address these matters because the ordeal itself is a traumatic event. So we need resources, and by resources, not only material but also staff, trained personnel who are going to handle this. We have trauma counselors who are specifically trained to handle trauma cases, and this being one of them, it is a request that we might put out there. Please equip us with the necessary resources to be able to be handling these cases effectively. Additionally, once these cases, such a case comes to the hospital, it is usually handled pro bono. We do not charge the survivors of these whatsoever. For consultation as well as for the counseling services, we do it pro bono. Part of the giving back as well as empowering. Yes.
So free of charge.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a very wonderful conversation or debate. And of course, before we wind up, what is your word to the community? We can start from the far end, Madam Shege.
Okay. I'll just say something I had forgotten, that women, we fear leaving our homes even when we are threatened because of a house you built, you participated in building, because you have your TV there, you are some good cutlery that is in that house. Consult a lawyer. They will guide you on how you can live with something in that home. And I tell them, If you are contributing towards building or buying items for your house, keep those receipts. Hide them somewhere. Dig out and find them if you feel threatened.
Yes.
Because wakili atakuadvise vizuri na utapata kitu. Huwezi kutoka tu ujenge nyumba na ni ya ghorofa na nini and you leave somebody enjoying. Either you are the man or the woman. Get a good lawyer. You will live and live comfortably because you have assets. And I would say, Golden Women, we are open. We have our offices opposite law courts. Come and find us there. If there's something you want to understand, come. We shall advise you. And we refer all matters to the authorities because they are the ones who have the power to do whatever they are supposed to do. We are not lawyers. We don't peleka anybody in court. Golden Women does not prosecute. Golden Women does not investigate. No. All matters we refer to the police. And once they are there, we leave them there. We can only ask how a fight has gone. Yes. Yeah.
So your work is to trumpet, to blow the
trumpet. Yes, and to make them understand that the law says this and you are supposed to do this.
Okay.
And again, we are not out there to break your homes, but if you feel threatened, wewe kanyaga makubwa. Before we get calls that you are killed.
They say in Kikuyu, the shaja.
The shaja.
Right, Zach.
Yes.
Your parting shot to the community.
My parting shot to the community, fellow community members. Gender-based violence as well as femicides is destroying lives. And it's not only destroying individual lives, but also community lives. Lives are cut short. Let's break the silence. Let's break the stigma and protect one another. Let us choose respect. Let us choose understanding over violence. Together, let's say not violence, and let's say yes to life. Thank you.
Understanding over violence. Thank you very much, Mr. Zach, Wakili, Madam Catherine, your parting shot.
To the people of Mukurweini, we should know that violence, it's never a family business. It's a crime. Every woman who is killed, it's someone's family. She can be your sister, she can be your mother, she can be your daughter. Silence keeps killers. And we need protection, openness, and justice for women of Mukurweini and beyond. And together, we can end gender-based violence and femicide. Thank you.
Together we can end gender-based violence and femicide. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching us. This has been a wonderful episode of Gatoho TV made in Mukurweini. And of course, we've had guests from the Golden Women Voices. We've heard from my far end there, Madam Wangare Washege. And of course, the gentleman here, it is Zach Mamicha. Zach Mamicha, working at the hospital. And of course, my immediate neighbor here is Catherine Waboi, also working at the hospital. We hope that you've been able to enjoy and you've learned a lot. We've been discussing about gender-based violence and cases of femicide in Mukurweini. Quite productive, quite enlightening, and quite insightful. Till next time, this has been Gatoho TV. Gatoho TV made in Mukurweini Show is filmed and produced at Zinc House, Platinum Mukurweini, a very serene place for everyone to come. Tunasamanga huku every day is a holiday in the house. Please come and check out our meals and drinks, and of course enjoy some very nice music. Special thanks to the director, Mr. Maina, the director and proprietor of Zinc House. Thank you for hosting us, and thank you for giving us this place to film this program. Thank you so much. Of course, our viewers, you can reach out to us in our socials. We have a Facebook account. You can go to the Facebook here, MC Gatoho Gatoho. That has been your host. And of course, our YouTube channel is Gatoho TV, and our WhatsApp number or even a call number is 0723 204482 0723 204482. Na kama Golden Voices mko na namba za simu watu wanawapigia.
Yes.
You said your office is opposite Lockout.
Yes.
Contact numbers to our viewers.
Yeah, our telephone number is 0117 437 616. Stop violence, end the silence.
Stop violence and the silence. Is a wrap from today. Is a bye-bye. Thank you so much. Asante sana. Thank you very much. Asante and have a good evening.